What's up, rugby fam? Welcome back to URC Chumps podcast, your weekly dose of raw takes, banter, and everything bold from the world of rugby. I'm here with Tim, and we got Jacques. Unfortunately, his internet's not that great, so as you can see, his name's there, but he is there. We are looking for sponsors to sponsor him some either data or a proper internet connection, so we can actually see his beautiful face. However, there's more to that later. But yes, Tim, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Oh, we can throw in an English-speaking coach too for Jacques. Yeah?
That's what your €5 can go to.
Gentlemen. I know it's been a while since I've been here. Tim, please, we had a good history. Please don't bugger it up now with our friendship.
Had a terrible history.
Does that include the Renault Clio?
Oh, many times.
Yeah, that Renault. So I mean, yeah, let's kind of get into the show and everything. I'm pretty excited for this. So yes, first things first, some awesome news that has broken out this week. If you're not on our social medias, right there, Jacques has popped the question to her his bull supporting fiance. So yes, congratulations. Now the domestic abuse is going to happen.
Why are you congratulating him? You're just dropping that little bit of slander in there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, and I do feel the rugby gods gave her a wedding present, which we'll get into.
What, a win? A definite win.
No, a new head coach.
Oh, yes, but we'll get to that. Just hold on. Don't say
that.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So let's talk about the international games, starting off with the British-Irish Lions. As you can see, at the same time as we did the podcast, the results for the Brumbies came out, which unfortunately the Brumbies lost by 12, being 24-36. Quite a good game from the Brumbies, a lot better than the Force. It does show you the level across Australia, which is a bit scary to look at in a sense. And then I don't think we'll talk about the Australia-New Zealand Invitational versus them, because that looks a lot like our scoreline.
Bobo's side, they were thrown together,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I mean, looking into the week's results as well, starting actually from the bottom, a historic win for Fiji, 29-14. However, the last time they beat Scotland as well, which was in, I think they said 2017. But that was also a Lions year as well. So I think there's a bit of a play there. But yeah. And historically, the 18-game losing streak has come to an end for Wales.
Yes. Which I'm so pleased about.
Yeah. I mean, I watched a bit of that Fiji game while standing at the traffic department to go renew licenses and replace lost ones that I found. But anyway, another story for another day. Awesome game and everything. I think Fiji definitely did deserve it. Scotland just looked like they let themselves down. The Japan-Wales game, I'm actually glad for Wales, because Wales, like I said, were going onto that streak and it was closing onto Italy. And I'm actually glad that they managed to break that streak, because hopefully this is the change that they needed, and this is where they start reviving everything from grassroots all the way up.
Yeah, I think it was absolutely vital for Wales to pick up a W. And you know, Japan, that's a settled Japan side. It's not a thrown together side. It's a well-rounded side. So for Wales to comfortably beat them, I mean, it wasn't comfortable, but I mean, it was comfortable. 31-22, it's a 9-point ball game.
It's also away. You need to take that. Yeah.
You understand the Japanese pride is huge, so the support would have been big. And I'm really happy for Wales. And they did it, obviously, they'll say, they're pretty much at full strength. But, Jack Morgan and Williams and Scrum, they both bring a lot. So with those two coming back into the sway, Morgan being the captain coming back in,
Yeah.
it's just going to be good for Wales. I'm happy for them very much.
Yeah. Jock, your take on it?
I am happy for Wales. There was a while back that I think when they were on 14 or 15 games, I can't remember. We did mention that they are a young side, and eventually, after a couple of games together, you can see. I didn't watch the game, but I watched a bit of the highlights. You can see the confidence growing in all those youngsters, which is always a good thing. And even though it is Japan, I think to get a win against these guys, I think it'll be good for the confidence. And I'm not saying that they on top form yet, but I think going forward, I don't think they'll get to a 18 game losing streak again. And if if they can rebuild with all these youngsters, I think they could end up doing some damage in the next couple of years.
I mean, that's the thing. And I mean, I even said it early on, and I said, I think they need to go play against the weaker side. Not to dismiss the weaker side, but you know what? Just get that first win, start getting that confidence and breaking that losing streak mentality, just to start getting back into it. And I mean, the thing is, you can't take it away from Japan. Japan is one of those teams that if you underestimate, they can beat the top teams as well. I mean, they've beaten the likes of Ireland. They've beaten Scotland a few times. They've beaten South Africa once before. You can't underestimate them, because if you do, that's when they literally jump on you. And I think because Wales was at that point that everything was better than them, they couldn't underestimate. And I think it actually paid off for them. And hopefully this is the change and we don't see another long streak. And it makes the next Six Nations a lot more competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mark makes a good point about the Welsh side being so young, and when they do come through with that experience, they're going to be sort of a force to be reckoned with. And I do feel that, like we actually, like Curbs and myself said last week that they're like a sleeping giant, and Curbs said they're like a sleeping dragon. Obviously.
Yeah.
We actually said it last podcast, where they are a power nation that is just waiting to erupt again. You know, South Africa was there in 2016. We were a nation. We lost to Italy. We lost to an enormous margin.
Wales.
Not like first time ever losing to a Test series to Ireland, first at home. First time losing a Test match on South African soil to Ireland. First time losing to France at home. It was all in 1 year. It was a rough year, but you know, then Rassie came around and turned the corner for us. But is this the turning point for Wales? Maybe it is. I fully agree with you guys. There's most certainly not going to be another 18 game losing streak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Wales is going to be very good. I agree with Jacques. I think in a couple of years they'll be an annoyance at the next World Cup, but then the World Cup after that, I think they might actually be pushing.
2031 in America. That's where it is.
Yeah.
But yes, but moving on, I mean, we'll probably talk forever and we'll probably praise him again and criticize him again in the future, depending on how things going on. But New Zealand versus France, New Zealand went to a different level against France. They were that team that the critics were talking about, where they were going to beat New Zealand. That is what everybody was expecting from New Zealand was this week. And it was at the curse of Wellington, which is also a bit of a problem for us, because now they've beaten them at Wellington. They could actually have a good feeling about when we go to them to go play against Wellington in just over a month's time.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we said it last week. We said that New Zealand were going to come, and we said that New Zealand were going to put some points on the board this week. They did exactly what we said. We also, France to play that well 2 weekends in a row with such a young side, that's where the experience comes in, which they don't have. So, yeah, I was fully expecting that sort of scoreline. I thought New Zealand were fantastic, but I also thought France didn't really pitch up as well. So, like, as good as New Zealand were, France weren't up to par either.
The thing is, what I realized with New Zealand is you can't judge them from their last game. If they have a bad game the week before, you know they are going to come at a different level the next week. Even if they beat you and it was a horrible game. I mean, everybody was criticizing the All Blacks, how they played their game against France. But now, this week they came and they actually proved how they've been. And this is what you need to realize with New Zealand is 1 week they could have a bad week, but you can't be like, okay, they had a bad week, they're going to be bad, sit back and relax. No, you need to make sure you step up the next week again as well.
Can I ask a question?
Go.
So the whole New Zealand was very upset with France sending their D side or whatever.
Yeah.
And then last week happened, what was that score?
That
20,
score was, like 31-27, if I'm not mistaken.
right.
I'll
And
double check it now.
That was not a bad looking New Zealand side.
No, that was at full strength, yeah.
And
yeah, but they were terrible under the high ball as well.
You know what? That doesn't matter. For me, the fact of how France came out with the way France came out and played that game, and you could see as soon as New Zealand got under pressure, as we all know that as soon as you put New Zealand under pressure, they do get rattled. And I think that is what the French did. And even though they lost this week with a huge score, I still think that France has got a fantastic young side that's also going to come through, same as Wales.
With the South African.
Whether it's South African or Zimbabwe, or I don't care who it is. The fact for me is the way that the whole New Zealand was going on why the French are sending the D side, C side, whatever, and especially with that one win last week, just to keep the All Blacks a bit silent. And then this week, with the All Blacks coming through, I'll give it to them. The game was much better this week. And I think the roles was a bit reversed. They came out from the get-go and they put the French under pressure. And then you could have seen the inexperience of the French, that they struggle to, as soon as they were on the back foot, there's no coming back. But same as what I'm saying about the Welsh, I think the French, for the next couple of years, they're going to be giants.
Yeah.
Well, the French are already giants of the game. I mean, they've got some amazing rugby players in the French league at the moment. I mean, and their pack of forwards is probably the only pack of forwards in world rugby that can match ours physically at the moment.
Yeah, they're sitting at fourth on the overall log at the moment.
Yeah, but I mean they lost. They were third, but they sent their B side, if you want to call it that, to New Zealand. I mean, it's definitely their B side, more their C side than their B side evens. But the French are doing a little bit of a Rassie. They're thinking about the future. They're thinking about next World Cup. They're looking at different players, and why not? I mean, they've already copied us on the bomb squad. Why not? Why not steal more of our stuff?
But the thing is, as New Zealand said when they were saying it was a disrespect, which I think is part of the reason why they didn't do so well in the first game, is because they had this whole hype of we've got this in the bag right away.
Yeah.
Is the management of the players is still not right, because they like resting all the big players instead of going, okay, listen, we'll just take you for one game or stuff like this, and have a youngster where you like, okay, cool, listen to what DuPont has to say, listen to what a Le Garrick or a Ramos or Intermac has to say, because you start getting that into their mindset. But then you look at Rassie, as you said, I think Rassie's got the perfect thing where, he used 51 players last year. He's rotating the guys as well. One, they don't get comfortable in their position, which is what he doesn't want, because he finds as soon as you get too comfortable in the position, you either injure yourself and then you don't tell them about the injury, like Sasha did, and you carry on playing, or where he's got the rotational basis now. So the guy says, I'm injured. He says, you know what? You're not out the squad. Go rest and everything like this, and we'll get back to you when you're back into the thing. So, it was quite interesting to see the results from that. But moving on, I'm happy we won. I'm not happy how we won. Jasper Wiese, what the hell? You had to go ruin your brother's debut game where he could have at least run onto the field with you. But
it's not only that. Do you know that he's picked up a 4-game ban?
Yeah, it's in later as the highlights at the end of this. So 4-match ban.
Ridiculous.
He's only coming back against when we play against in Wellington.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you know what? Before that card, that was going to be a statement win. I mean, yes, 45-0 that we left me with a 0. We almost got a half century. But let me tell you, Italy can count their lucky stars that Jasper Wiese lost his head. Because had he stayed on the field, that was going to be a cricket score. That was going to be an absolute annihilation. We had scored 2 tries in 10 minutes. We were putting them on the pump in every facet, phase. We were dominating ball carries. Jasper Wiese was carrying beautifully. He was actually having a very good game up until that stupidity. He won his contact collision point every single time. We were looking fantastic. That was going to be a cricket score. So, yes, it's a good win. Yes, it showed that we can adapt in bad situations. And 45-0 looks really good. I mean, a 0 is always good. But, you know, it's half a century. You played 20 minutes with 13 men and you played basically 65 minutes with 40. You know, and so to get 45, that's superb. But Italy can count themselves lucky. I think that was going to be a cricket score.
No, I agree.
I think it would have been a South Africa against Zimbabwe opening batsman partnership kind of cricket score.
Mm-hmm. Jean de Villiers and Skulk Burger, first wicket school boy. But I mean, I was very disappointed in Jasper and everything like this. I mean, we did fantastic. I saw there was a comment about Grant Williams being dropped into the deep end, and he actually did well. And I think Grant Williams did a fantastic job, and he worked perfectly with Mani.
Why was it deep end?
No, so they've been using him more as the replacement scrum half, not as the starting. No, but this is the thing, is that they put it, as they said, they put him in the deep end to see how he would do, and he came out with flying colours. It was all good things that they said about it. It wasn't like he started.
Look at him against England. You know, he started there. He scored that brilliant try. I'm a big fan. He speeds up the game. The speed of the gameplay is exceptionally fast when he's on the field. I love it. We look way better when the ball's quicker from ruck. When he gets slowed down, I know Morne van Berg he scored 2 tries, but he's a lot slower at the base than Grant Williams.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer Grant Williams over Morne any day. I know I was a bit worried about him for the World Cup after that concussion, but just talking about concussions, Salman Murat.
Useless.
Yeah. I think those concussions are catching up to him.
But I've been saying it for a while. I don't understand it, but hey, you know, what can you say?
I mean, he was a fantastic player, but the one thing you do have to give to him was his constant communication with the ref. You have to give him that. He was always talking to the ref.
It's the least he can do.
Yeah.
But I mean, his general play was pathetic. He looked banggat.
Yeah.
It's a long time since I've used that word. But he looked like he didn't want to take any contact. And I was very disappointed, actually.
That's why I say I think the concussions have caught up to him now.
No, I think he should go play by the Boland or go steal golf clubs with all Rose or something. I think
golf clubs and all.
I think, and
No,
honestly,
he's a nutter, man.
I honestly don't care what anybody say. I think he's a useless piece of rugby player. Him and Damian Willemse and Warwick Geland, they all fall under the same category for me. They can go steal golf clubs with all Rose in Wellington. I don't care.
Well, how can you say Damian Willemse? Yeah.
Not a fan, bro. I'm sorry.
He's not a fan.
What aren't you a fan about him?
Nothing.
Because he's better than
I think he's arrogant, and he thinks he's bigger than the game. That's my opinion. Nobody else needs to.
No. I'm just asking. But like, do you not like him as a person? You do not like him as a rugby player. It's a different thing.
Yeah,
I don't like him as a rugby player because I think
I don't like Owen Farrell as a person, but I think he's a very, very good rugby player.
I do agree with you 100% with that.
So is it the same vibe for you?
Yes, I've never had the privilege of meeting him in real life. I've met someone that's very good friends with him that told me that he's a fantastic guy off the field, and which I would say that I've never met. But on the field, I think he's arrogant. He thinks he's bigger than the game. Just his attitude, and I know that you should have a little bit of an arrogant attitude on the field.
But there's also a line to it. I get you. But tell me, as a player, if you took his personality away from the game and you just took him as a player, would you pick him?
Yes.
Maybe on the bench. Maybe number 24. Waterboy. T carrier.
So his name is Jan. He's
You
a
don't
player of
bring
the
on the
month.
oranges or something.
You don't rate him as a player?
No.
Wow.
Okay, but moving on. This is something we can talk about at another stage. But yes, because this is something that Jacques will go on for ages and ages. I had a problem with Fussy. I'm okay with Fussy now. Jacques won't change his mind. It's probably because Damien Willemse runs faster than him on the field. But anyway, moving on.
Maybe it's because he's a bloody Stormers player. I don't care.
So if he was wearing a Shark jersey, he would be all right.
It comes out. Now we know.
Okay, cool. Got it.
Just move to the Sharks and he'll love you.
Maybe if he goes to Boland, maybe.
You can't say that, bro. This is a World Cup winning man here.
Twice.
Shame.
But anyway, maybe if he went to the Bulls, he would be happy. But anyway, moving on.
Listen here, now don't push your luck.
Portugal versus Ireland. Ireland coming out 106-7 victors over that. But that looked like a proper full strength side that they had there, minus the guys at the Lions. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't actually see that game, but ouch. And then England.
I can't say about that one, really.
Yeah. And then, of course, England beating Argentina in the final minutes. Van Poorvliet scoring a try to seal the win. Jacques gone quiet now. So he's probably screaming Damien Willemse how much he loves Damien Willemse now while he's on mute. But anyway.
I'm back.
So yes. Okay, cool. But then moving on to this week, we've got Samoa hosting Scotland on Friday at 10:05 in the morning. So I mean that should be quite a fun game to see and very physical because we know Samoa is a physical team.
Yeah.
And And then moving on to New Zealand versus France, the last game of the series. France has nothing to lose because they've lost the series. They're probably going to want to prove a point, but I still think New Zealand's going to come up on top there. Yeah, that is. Then we do actually have, as you see at the bottom of the screen there, 12 o'clock South African time, Australia versus British and Irish Lions, the first game of the Lions tour.
Cracker.
This should be a cracker. However, I have looked at the betting odds. The betting odds are saying that the Lions are going to win.
Yes. I mean, like, this is one of those. I mean, the Lions should beat Australia. They should. But I do think Australia are going to upset the Lions in one of the tests. I think it'll be 2-1 in the tests to the British and Irish Lions.
Yeah. But then coming back to this side of the world, we got the Springboks hosting Georgia with a fresh front row, which will go, the next slide will show that. So we'll talk a bit more about that. I think the Springboks are going to win. I think we're going to see a lot more experimental things like we did with the midfield line out in the middle of the game. So that should be interesting to see. Argentina is hosting Uruguay. Argentina is definitely going to take that game. There is another game in between that, which we'll also talk about later. And USA is hosting England. Yeah, England's definitely taking that game.
Yeah.
The British will finally get a win over America.
So for me, I'm quite excited to see the Springboks game against Georgia. Obviously, I'm a Springbok supporter and I want to watch Springboks, but I'm excited to see the game plan the Springboks go with against Georgia, because Georgia, as far as a physical side, they are enormous human beings in Georgia. Their front row all play in France. They all play high quality rugby. They are very good rugby players. And I know they lost to the Cheetahs on the weekend, but that was also they had, like Rassie said, 9 of their best players weren't playing. They weren't even on the bench.
I think Rassie never underestimates the team. So you might just see that he'll take it as, you're giving that guy a chance.
Well,
but we can't take that as the result.
Yeah, I know, it's interesting you say that, because one of the reporters in the interview when Rassie announced his team said to him, did he pick the front row like banter and Netting for sure? Did they pick them, and Manus van der Merwe? They picked them because Georgians are not sort of a first tier nation and they're small. And Rassie said, I'm sorry to correct you, but the Georgians aren't small. They actually like the biggest guys in world rugby at the moment in the front rows. That's why they all play in France. So, I want to see if we are just going to run them off their feet. And if so, I'm very excited. And by the looks of it, for me, the 9-10 combo here is very exciting to me. That's such a skillful combination and a fast combination. So,
but I mean,
I'm
you mentioning that. But you mentioning that. I mean, let's go through the team right now. Starting off at number 1 and everything like that. The one thing that people have questioned who the hell this guy is, Banter from Edinburgh, starting off there on the bench, along with
do you know where Bowen Venter comes from?
Let me guess, the Free State?
Actually, the Northern Cape, a small little town called De Aar.
De Aar. De Aar there. So yeah, that's cool. It's also quite good for that little town. The fact that now from a little town the Springboks made it, so that will make probably tourism go up. Then we got Manus van der Merwe as well, and Netting for sure. Yes, it is. I can see why Rassie went with the newbies first, to make sure that if need be, we'll talk about the bench can come on and actually bring on the power. But I do think that is one strong team right there, or front row. combination.
I just one concern, and this is more. I just feel that Thomas du Toit got taken off last week because of the red card, not because he was underperforming. So he finally got given a chance, and he got his chance taken away by some other guy's stupidity, and now he's finding himself on the bench again. And I was just like, oh, can you give the guy a break? Can you just, I mean, the poor bugger.
But you say that, but if you listen to what Andrew Brace was saying, Brace was actually talking to Wilco Low about the head-on-head on the thing. I would have taken Wilco Low off because of the head-on-head on before the scrum. But yeah, then we got a very good powerhouse four being even Etzebeth, a very technical player in Ron Nukier, finishing off the tight five. Sia's back on after his injury niggle. And then we got Peter Steph Toy and Jasper's brother Corbus, which I can see what they're doing here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 jumpers in the line out.
Jumper, that's exactly right.
Yeah. And he is a hard player. When he was here at Stormers, I was like, oh gosh, this guy needs to go to play for the Boks.
Well,
but unfortunately,
hopefully he keeps his head.
yeah.
Unlike
Yeah. Then, like you said, we got the exciting, dynamic halfback pair of Grant Williams and Sasha. I think that's going to be very fun dancing around and quick or off the line. Sasha with the quick drop and kicks on his feet or the quick side steps should be fun.
I feel the distribution between those two is going to be amazing.
Yes, that too.
I think that's the speed in which the ball's going to get out to the back line from 10 is going to be exceptional, and we're going to open them up out wide. I'm very excited. And
then Damien on the inside center should be fine with an exciting player who's fast and strong, Kanan Moody, finishing off the center combination. Then we got Kurtley Orense, awesome. Edward van der Merwe with the signature scrum caps for the South African wingers. And
deserves his place.
Yeah. Yes. And Fussy. I think Fussy, like I said, and I have to admit, he's been a lot better under the high ball and on defense over the past couple of years, and he definitely deserves his spot now. Moving on to the bench, we got Bongi, Thomas, and Vincent. You're replacing a strong front row with a superior knowledge and just probably as strong front row. You got Archius Neyman, who's going to come on, which I think that we're probably going to see the likes of Ruan Nokia come off, or unless they're going to rest Eben. Because I think
Eben. I think he'll go in for Eben.
Yeah. Then we got Kwacha, who's just as exciting off the loose trio. Fuff to come in and give a bit more of a steady head at 9. Andre Pollard, awesome distributor of the ball. Very calm, not so fancy, sticks to the basics, but because he does the basics so well, he's a fantastic, and Jacques' favorite player.
Damien, the 2-time world champion, the best player, and Jacques Dutchie's dream man Willemse. Sorry, I took your number. It's Sharks busy having a bit of a wet dream there.
I'm having a stroke because you guys are. I'm just gonna keep quiet.
But I mean, talking about that, I mean, here's some interesting stats that have recently come out. Or they literally gave the most starts in their jersey number from 1 to 15, like from the Beast going 102, John Smith at 81, Frans Malherbe at 63, which is a bit surprising that we don't really get longevity in starting for our tight heads. Eben at 123 starts at 4, Victor Matfield 113 at 5, Sia at 6 with 71, Johan Smith, legend of the game with 57, Dwayne Vermeulen at 8 with 60, Joost van der Westhuizen 78, Andre Pollard has 62 at 10, Brian Abana 109 at 11, Jean de Villiers at 81 at 12, Jesse Creel, 63 at 13. And 14 is JP Peterson with 53. And Willie le Roux with 81 out of his 100 caps, starting at 15. I mean, that's some... I mean, just that team alone makes me worried if I had to see that as a starting lineup.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you make a big thing with Willie le Roux, 81 out of his, 100.
Yeah.
How many matches have Eben Etzebeth played?
123, but this is starting, out of 138. I mean, yes. It's pretty much the same number, 15 short, or 15, 16 short for Eben.
Yeah, but you must understand, Eben's only played 4, and Willie's played left wing as well. He started on the wing as
Yeah. And right.
Willie's used off the bench a lot more than Eben is.
Yeah. Well, not 81 times. 81%. But anyway, yeah. And more likely to have been replaced as well in the game, depending on what the game plan was. So, I mean, yeah.
I have a question there. US van der Leeuwen, how close is Faf to breaking that stat?
I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, we'll follow up. Here are the semi-final results for the under-20s. Yeah. A South Africa, well, an all-South final being New Zealand and South Africa going through to the final. That is what's called. Hopefully, Argentina can pip France to keep 1, 2, 3 in the South for the under-20s. But yeah, I mean, that's some hectic scoreline. Like I said, the final will be New Zealand and South Africa playing for first and second. And yeah, that is awesome. And I mean, here are the timelines for the under-20s to finish off the championship. That South Africa and New Zealand game is literally in between. It's like straight after the South African Georgia game. So if you're into that, it's straight after that. So yes.
I'm doing the double, bro. I'm doing the double.
Hopefully I can do the double because I am away this weekend. So hopefully my phone will work and I'll be able to watch on my phone. That's if I don't have a place to watch it on the TV. If there's no TV around. But anyway, news. We mentioned it earlier. He misses Eden Park.
Yeah, and that's a huge loss, man. Against New Zealand, we need this man.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what it says. It says Vitsa 4-match ban means he misses the biggest test of the year.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, but in saying that,
Me touchy.
his brother gets, as we said, his brother gets selected to play for an 8, which does make that whole thing of what is happening with Evan and Rassie, because they just he seems like he's there, then he's not there. He's there, and he's not there. I thought this would have been a nice thing to give Evan a nice run against Georgia, but obviously there's a game plan we don't see or a plan in the behind the scenes.
Did you played very well last game?
The thing is, I don't think he played that great because, of course, the whole thing was messed up because of Vitsa. Like all our forwards were a bit because they were doubling up in their positions.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're trying to make your point, that's the time to put up your hand and stand up.
Yeah, but that's why I said I don't think anybody really stood out for me in that one. They were doing what they needed to do. They were tackling, and they were either in or out the rucks. And I mean, Royce did make some good runs as well when he got the ball. But of course, there's a lot more to it that we, yeah. But anyway, yeah. Talking about the French and everything, it looks like Dupont is still going to be missing the November tests due to injury, which unfortunately is not what most people want to. Yeah.
I think
it looks
he's
like
scared.
Yeah, but they said it looks like his rehab isn't going that well. He's still planning to do so, but the current timeline is not what they want to hear. And the Bulls have officially signed Johan Ackerman. That's why I said I'm surprised Ruan signed for the Stormers.
Yeah.
I think Daddy told him to go.
Apparently, he was begging the Stormers to be signed. That's what the reports that I heard said. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of big news. The fact that we see the Blue Bulls have now signed Johan Ackerman. They have officially decided that. I know the competition was between Franco and Johan. I think Johan, because he's literally home there, they just it worked out for them better. Obviously, as soon as he's finished with the under-20s this week, he'll go straight and start working with the Bulls. So yeah, that is that, which is kind of in a sense a bit surprising for me. I was a bit yeah. And I know Johannes Ackerman's name's been thrown around South Africa quite a few times when it comes to coaching positions. I think there was a stage they were talking about the Sharks. I know they've been talking about the Stormers. And now that this with Jake White, he came up. So, yeah. You know where Jake White should go? Lions.
I think Jake White is going to work by Boland.
I think Jake White should go to the Lions and stop building their team back up.
Lions got potential. They've got a good side. They've got some really quality players coming through now. Young players. I think they'll be all right. I don't know. Jake for me, I think I don't know. He almost got too big for his own shoes, almost, I feel.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe he's being humbled. Because he's a good coach. He just needs to, keep his head a little bit.
Agreed. But I mean, all the best to Jake. I mean, he's been in the South African coaching thing for years. I know he was part of the 95 squad doing video analysis for the players back then. Yeah, so I mean, high school coach to Springbok coach. He's done it all. So yeah.
Winning coach.
Yep, World Cup winning coach.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, he's done it and everything. I mean, I think a lot of the coaches here in South Africa, where if they had to leave, maybe not so much the Lions coach, if they had to literally end their career right now, can actually walk off with their head held high because they've done pretty well over the past year or two. Or let's say since Super Rugby, not Super URC started. Lions haven't really won anything. Sharks have won the Challenge Cup and the Currie Cup. Bulls have been in contention quite a bit. Unfortunately, haven't really crossed the line. And Stormers with that one win and that second place as well. So, I mean, yeah, it is a tough cookie to crack these days. Is high competitive rugby, especially with the money being flown around and everything. It's a bit hard. Jacques, of course, with his he's needing better internet, euros and pounds. All our overseas listeners will
please
work. Yeah, help him. Then you can actually see his face. Then we don't have to just see his name on the screen. But I mean, yes, I think that's absolutely what we need to implore and everything like that. But yes, I don't know if you guys want to add anything or talk about anything else.
It was an honor to be back.
Yes.
Great to have you back, my friend.
Yes, it was great to have you back and have your input and everything. Before we go, why did the rugby player bring string to the match? To tie up the score. Yeah. So on that note, guys, remember to like, share, subscribe, Please comment on everything on what you want to see. Hopefully AI gives me a better joke next week. But yes. Yeah.
That was funny.
Anyway, Jacques, thanks for being back. Tim, thanks for joining me again this week, guys. Have a good one. Cheers.
Cheers.